Hey guys, what's up? Zyflin here. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I just kind of feel like making a ranty video about this topic. I started playing Warframe frequently again recently, right? So I've been playing it at least once a day and leveling up my stuff to make my way towards MR30. The main reason I came back to the game is because a lot of people told me, hey Flynn, you can now get Umbra Forma from Steel Path. And I was like, oh, that's really cool, because that gives me the opportunity to, like, redo my builds, right? So, I had no idea the Umbra Forma is accessible from Steel Path, but on an 8-week cooldown, right? It's essentially time-gated. So, I played Steel Path a decent amount. Like, I haven't played it a lot. I wasn't one of those guys that just stayed in a Steel Path survival and farmed up a ton of steel essence way back whenever it first came out. You know, I've just played it a little bit, and this guy's following me around. I just played it a little bit, and I got, you know, enough steel essence to get the ephemeras and stuff like that, and I've got a little bit left over too. You can get ribbons from here as well, which is really nice. Now, my problem with this is that the Steel Path vendor actually has decent rewards, right? So we have our ephemeras, we have the Stance Forma, which Stance Forma can be alright if you put it on your favorite melee weapon. It's not something you want to collect a ton of, but if you had the option to, you definitely could just get a ton of Stance Forma and put it on every single melee weapon you own. That's alright, but the thing is, right, with the Umbra Forma, I'm pretty sure you can only buy one of them at a time whenever it comes on rotation on Steel Path, and I'm not really a fan of that, because even the ribbon, you can only buy one of them. I'm not a fan of that because it just limits you, right? Like, I want to play Warframe, but what I want to do is heavily time gate it. I understand time gating whenever it comes to the likes of standing, but whenever it comes to Umbra Forma, which essentially just makes the game a little bit more fun whenever you get your hands on it, time gating that, in my opinion, is such a bad move from DE, because, like, it just, like I said, it limits your fun. I'm gonna wave at this dude. Like, he's following me around. There you go. He's probably like, oh my god, he waved! Oh my god! And he buys. Feels good, man. But, yeah, I'm really not a fan of how they've handled this Umbra Forma thing. Yes, Umbra Forma is, you know, this thing that everybody is after right now, but that's because it has a meaningful impact on how we mod our Warframes, you know what I mean? So it's not like the value of Umbra Forma would go down if DE made it more accessible. People would still go after it. And because it is behind Steel Path, which is like our, I'm not going to say endgame activity because they said in a forum post that it's not endgame, but it's the most difficult content that we've got in the game right now. The sort of like mainstream, you know, people want to do Steel Path just to get the rewards from this vendor. You know, it is as close to an endgame activity as we're going to get outside of the likes of Eidolons, for example. You know, so it really bothers me that they have put the Umbra Forma on this vendor, but then they've time gated it. It just doesn't really make that much sense, because it's the reason that I want to play the game, because Umbra Forma exists now. It allows me to redo all of my builds, but for me to, like, get the thing that I want in the game, I have to wait a period of 8 weeks, so I'm not really playing the game, right? If I could just get Umbra Forma after Umbra Forma after Umbra Forma, I would be playing Steel Path right now. I would be farming it for Steel Essence, you know? But now, I have to wait 8 weeks to get one Umbra Forma at a time, and it's this 8-week gap every single time. They should just put Umbra Forma on this vendor permanently, because, like, there are some builds out there where it makes sense to just run Umbral Intensify to get, like, your power strength cap for whatever build it is that you're going for. So take, for example, one that I did recently was Seeking Shuriken Ash. So to get 100% armor strip, you need 144% power strength. Umbral Intensify on its own does that, but then if you don't have an Umbral Forma, you're just wasting 16 mod capacity, right? So having the Umbral Forma on there makes the rest of your build more flexible and therefore more fun. You get what I mean? So you have this fun item, which everybody wants right now, and it's not locked behind difficult content, because honestly, Steel Path is somewhat easy if you have understanding of the game, but you have this item that everybody is like looking for right now to like further their Warframe experience, and then they put it behind this 8-week time gate, which is just so insane to me because it's what we want to go and get, right? This is a grinding game about improving your character, and Umbra Forma is one of the best ways to like improve your characters right now. You know what I mean? And I don't really get how, you know, there would be any kind of balancing issues whenever it comes to Umbra Forma either, because I don't know, like, it's not insane. Like, regular Intensify gives you 30% power strength. Umbral Intensify gives you, what, 14% more? You know, it's not a game-breaking thing to allow us to have Umbral Forma. On top of that, like, people don't really use Umbral Vitality anymore because Rolling Guard and Shield Getting is a thing, so it makes using health mods a little bit redundant. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really necessarily need to use health or armor mods, so it's not like you can make the argument that combining Umbral Fiber, Umbral Vitality, and Umbral Intensify is going to make builds wacky, because it's not going to do that. And even then, this is a power fantasy game, you know what I mean? So, like, the fact that Umbra Forma is behind a time gate is really annoying. And if you don't believe me, I've got a little forum post here that explains it, right? So, Teshin's Steel Path Honors will now have a weekly item for you to purchase. There are 8 total items, meaning that every 8 weeks the store will reset and allow you to purchase a new. Look forward to things like an Umbra Forma blueprint, Shotgun Ribbon mod, and more, right? And then this guy sums it up perfectly. He says, oh, okay, every 8 weeks, I thought we could purchase as many blueprints as we wanted. That's kind of a bummer. Was excited to actually use Umbrals on weapons and redo my frame builds. Well, I thought I was actually going to have some sort of end game thing to do. Guess I won't have much to do like I hoped, right? It just kills all motivation to want to do this because of that absurd time gate. You know, because you have to remember to log on that specific, or in that specific time frame to get the one Umbra Forma blueprint, you know, like, just let us buy it, right? You can still time gate it, so to speak. You know, I would be okay if they went down this route where they still time gated it so it only appeared at a certain time on the vendor, you know, because it's kind of like a borrow Katir type thing. But then they allowed us to buy as many as we want, you know. I would be totally fine with that, but the way that it is now, where you can only buy one, that stings, and it's really for no good reason other than to, like, artificially extend playtime or the amount of people playing at any given time on Steam or whatever. You know, like, that's really, I don't want to say scummy, but it's really scummy. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's kind of upset me. And like I said, it's not like Umbra builds necessarily, like, break the game. Just being able to go get Umbra Forma, it's like, it makes building a lot easier and a lot more streamlined, and it's like a clear focus for players to get to that point in the game, right? It makes Steel Path more of a thing you want to do because you can make your frames even better. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, my phone just went off. But it can make your frames even better, right? So, like, having Umbral Forma there as, like, an incentive to play Steel Path and just having it around 24/7, sure, some veteran players might say, like, you know, there's no point in it, but, like, you know, newer players might see that and be like, yo, I want my frame to be the best of the best, so I want to go ahead and get that. And really, that was the appeal for many people jumping into Warframe. Like, you wanted to have the best of the best build, and people still do want to have the best of the best build, you know? That's the entire appeal, you know? Look at my Ash build, right? So this is my new Ash Prime. It's got 2 Forma on it. It's got an Umbra Forma and a regular Forma on. So I formed off one of the V polarities, put on this Umbra polarity, and then put on a D polarity as well. And now I can have all the builds that I want on here, right? It's really flexible. But now you compare that to my other Ash, right? Like, to fit on an Umbra build, I know it's not the exact same, but I had the Forma 6 times, dude. And the thing is, this locks up your playstyle, or sorry, your building as well, because you have to, like, put on mods which match the polarities you've already formed on. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think they have made a big mistake here whenever it comes to time gating Umbra Forma, and I would really like to see it changed, you know, and, like, hopefully they do it. Like, I know me making this video doesn't necessarily guarantee that they are going to do it. I know this is just, like, a whiny, ranty video, but, like, come on, dude. Like, give us something to sort of shit towards, you know what I mean? Like, let us get Umbra Forma. It's not going to break the game, not going to make it unbalanced or anything like that. Just please let us get Umbra Forma and let us experiment with builds again and make like these really cool builds without having to Forma every single slot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too much of a resource and time investment to be forming every single slot whenever Umbra Forma is a thing that exists. It's just down to DE to try to give it to us. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the topic. I would like Umbra Forma to be more accessible, more so than it is now. It's entirely up to DE to do so. This is my plea. Hopefully someone at DE watches this and considers it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys agree with what I have to say, let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more Warframe content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.